Hello, Knights fans. Back with this week's edition of the FDU Men's Basketball Report on the eve of the NEC Semifinal matchup with Robert Morris. Coach, we have to talk about that Wagner
You're not
game.
nervous, are you? You nervous?
No, my favorite basketball player of all time, Steven Jackson, once said, "I make love to pressure." I like to live by that.
We embrace. I don't make love to it. I embrace it. That's what I tell our team all the time. Like, in basketball, you have to love. You love it, but we embrace it. So if we get trapped, or if we get pressured, we tell our team to embrace it. So I like that. I like that. I thought your favorite player was Penny Hardaway, though.
Penny Hardaway's my all-time favorite, but Steven Jackson had a lot better quotes.
I do my homework. I do my homework.
Of course. So, yeah, Penny now at Memphis, obviously. But, yeah, let's talk about the Wagner game. And as a coach, you draw up game plans, and you hope everybody follows it to a T. But
Right.
even the best laid plans don't go the way that game went.
Sure.
43-14 at the half. You end up winning by 38 points.
Yes.
NEC tournament record. Just talk about it from your perspective there.
Yeah, it was kind of surreal because the first I've repeated myself. The first 2 minutes we couldn't get the puck out of our own end. We were down 6-0, and I knew Wagner was going to hit us with their best shot. Then we just kind of weathered the storm, and the next thing you know, just everything went right. Everything went our way, and regrettably for Bashir, things didn't go their way. And when you have that happen, it's hard. The momentum gets going, and then we were just making shots, making plays, and but the key was we guarded. People were talking about our offense. It was our defense, and obviously, if you hold someone to 14 points, that's great, and then it makes our offense that much better because then we get into our break, and once we get into our break, we're really fast and we're potent offensively. But it was a perfect storm. I don't feel at the moment I didn't feel bad, but now I kind of feel bad because I know that wasn't Wagner's best shot that we took, but that happens. That happened to us against St. Francis a few weeks ago. Just happened on a big night for us, and we took advantage of it.
I mean, to hold a team to 14 points and a half, let alone a postseason game, any kind of game, that's amazing. But you draw up defense, you coach your guys, you tell them what to do. But what was it that really just sparked them? And was it just, on the whole?
I think we were just one step ahead of what they were doing. By now, Wagner knows what we're doing. Robert Morris knows what we're doing. We know what and we were just a step ahead, a play ahead. So it's almost like playing, it's like I told our staff, it's like getting the questions to an exam before the exam actually happens. You just get in there and start writing, as opposed to if you get some questions you're not sure of, you're backpedaling, and we had the answers to the questions.
Yeah, it definitely appeared that way. Again, another one of those games, too. We talk about the balance of this team, and any one of your guys can lead any night. 10th time this season, 5 guys in double figures.
Right.
And it was a quiet, I think Mike had the leading point, 18 points in 28 minutes. So,
Exactly.
just, again, the efficiency of your offense.
Yeah, we really preach sharing the ball. And I think when you guard, then the ball automatically moves because different people are getting rebounds and different people are getting shots. But we're a cohesive unit offensively. We have a good balance, as you well know, Brian, of inside out. And every time right before we leave the locker room, we talk about getting the ball inside, and then out. And if the outside appears first and you're wide open, we let them go. So we're playing with confidence offensively. But, tomorrow we have a really good defensive team, a really well-coached team. So I hope our fans are not expecting the same. This is not the theater where you come to the play and it's the same sets. It's going to be a different game. But our objective is the same. We have to guard Robert Morris. We have to rebound better. And then offensively, we have to do what we do.
Yeah, so Robert Morris and Wagner do have a lot of similarities. They're both always in the top 2 in defensive field goal percentage, points allowed. But this Robert Morris team seems to have a little bit more firepower on offense.
Yep.
How much does your game plan mirror what you did against Wagner without divulging too much into it?
No, I think you got to play their good players, and they don't have any bad players. And that's the key. As you advance, the good teams kind of are rising to the top, and so are the good players. So our game plan is the same regardless of who we play. It's not about who we play, it's how we play. Now, it varies depending on, obviously McConnell's a really, really good shooter. He puts it down, he goes to his left. We have they have their scouting report on Darnell Edge. So you have to play the good players accordingly. But I think at the end of the day, it's, what does the Brandon Powells do? What is Elijah, who never starts? He comes in a game and he starts, and it's usually like the Denny Doyle of the New York Yankees. There's always somebody else that needs to step up and do something. And that's usually the team that wins.
Yeah, you mentioned Elijah. Obviously, we always talk about an unsung hero. Will embrace any role you
Right.
give him. Does a lot of the dirty work. He didn't miss a shot the other night. 5 for 5 overall. Hit 3 threes, I think, in the game. He's now leading the NEC in field goal percentage. He's over 62% on the season. Talk about just his readiness and a guy who doesn't always flashy, but he seems reliable.
It doesn't matter. Like if we're traveling and we're on the bus and we have to get a group to go change their keys, he's the leader. You know, if we're in a restaurant, he's not a captain, but probably soon to be. He's just a gregarious, real quick story. On his official visit, we went out to eat at a local at Presto's, and I asked him to get me a drink, and he went out and he got me a Diet Coke, and he put it and he turned the Diet Coke around and it said Greg, and he goes, "Coach, here you go." And that's who. And I knew from day one. I'm like, that's a leader. That's the kind of kid we want to coach and recruit, and that's how he plays. He's not afraid now to make threes. He dunks the ball. He'll guard. He communicates better than anybody on our team. He helps coach the team. He's really special, and everyone on our team is special, but his specialness kind of jumps out at you.
Yeah, the prototypical glue guy, as they say. Yeah. And then just about the experience being in this building. You talked about you've had a lot of success on the road in this league, and your team's not afraid to go on the road. But the success this season, 12-4 in this building. All time in the NEC tournament, you're 14-5 at home. Again, different venue. But sure. Just overall, as the experience of having the guys really feeding off the crowd's energy and how important that is, not only last week, but it will be on Saturday.
I think as our success has built here, our crowds have gotten better. And really, quite honestly, Brian, we practice. We're lucky. We carve out time in our academic schedule to practice at 12 o'clock every day. So the time is perfect for us. That's when we practice. So it's this year more than any year, we really kind of feel comfortable at home. But once you get in the playoffs and the conference tournament, the home court advantage gets less and less. People think it's more and more. Now, if it's banged out, maybe, but we'll have a great crowd. But it's all about what happens on the floor. What happens off the floor with our fans definitely helps. The Park Ridge Band, I believe, is coming, and there'll be juice in the building. But it depends on if we're going to get over screens and if we're going to rotate and if we're going to move the ball. And conversely, the same thing with Robert Morris. The best team will win, the most prepared team, and that's why it's going to be such a great battle. I think it's a great bang for your buck, man, to come out on a Saturday afternoon at noon to see two really, really good basketball teams go at it.
You don't get to see too many postseason games for the price of admission, just $10 to come into the Rothman Center tomorrow. So that'll be great. And then lastly, obviously a side note in the afterthought of basketball, but you're our basketball team's leader, our department's leader, Brad Hurlbut, our new director of athletics, is on your radio program this week. Talk about what we should expect.
I mean, he was just great. I mean, great music. We let our guests kind of sometimes we'll do some research, but Brad's my boss now, so I let him play the music. So we have great music, great stories about him and his brother, Northwestern, his affiliation with the league, his ability just to administer and how to grow Fairleigh Dickinson University's athletic program as he did at Sacred Heart. So he's just a really interesting guy. He's a positive guy. He's our lucky charm. Since he's been here, we've had a lot of success. So it's a great, I think you'll really like the show, and I think our fans will really like the show as well.
Yeah, hopefully that success keeps rolling Saturday, and then obviously on into Tuesday. Good luck this week.
Brian, thank you very much.
So Coach Herenda and his Knights have the NEC semifinal against the number 4 seed Robert Morris. That's a 12 p.m. tip-off start, so get your breakfast, come out here to the Rothman Center, bring your coffee, and get ready to make some noise for your team. Obviously, if they do advance the Knights, that'll be a Tuesday the 12th, the NEC final at the highest remaining seeds home court. But obviously, first things first, the Knights have to take care of business on Saturday against the Colonials. For all information about the NEC tournament and the FDU men's basketball team, make sure you head back to fduknights.com.